So off they went, and the watching of those two hospital doors, which has been going on for days and even weeks, has come to an end at last. So as the couple emerged, some of those very best vantage points went to the photographers who have had their ladders placed outside the hospital, waiting for this moment for ages. Let's just show you a selection of the first photos from when the world got to see the newborn prince for the very first time. We saw a tiny hand or two above the white blankets there. Oh, that's a lovely close-up. But he remained quiet and peaceful despite the deafening cheers from the well-wishers and the shouts of the hundreds of photographers outside St Mary's Hospital. There was a very good picture there of the baby's face. We're seeing these for the first time. You can really get a glimpse of what he looks like. William said that he's got Kate's looks, and both Catherine and Prince William spent some time in front of the media cradling their son and future king before they left for home. They really did have a nice chat and answered a lot of questions and gave the media a little bit more of what they've been wanting for so long. Now, we're watching this here outside Buckingham Palace, and with me is Hannah Fox, who is from Mother and Baby magazine, and Rafe Heydel-Mankoo, who's a royal commentator and historian. And we're both, Hannah, we're looking at these pictures. If you look at that close-up, that could be any ordinary newborn. I know something like 2,000 babies were born in Britain alone yesterday at the same time as the royal baby, on the same date rather. But then, you know, this baby has a slightly different welcome to the world.
He has a different welcome, but at the end of the day, he is just a normal baby when it comes to everyday baby activities as such. So, you know, he is going to have a normal little life as much as possible as far as baby stuff goes. The only difference is that the whole eyes of the world will be watching him, but I think his parents will do their best to give him as normal an upbringing as possible.
How do you get used to becoming a new parent in the glare of what we've seen them in their first appearance? The absolute clamour for a view of the baby, for any kind of close-up photo, for any information. I mean, being a parent for the first time is a big shock to your system, whoever you are.
Yeah, it's going to be difficult, but I think they'll probably hide themselves away a little bit for the next few weeks, which, to be honest, is the best thing you can do with any baby, even if you're not, you know, the future king and the queen of England with a little baby. We always recommend that you try and spend as much time just at home bonding. I mean, it was interesting, they said after the birth, but before it was announced, they spent nearly 4 hours just bonding with their baby, which is really good. It's really important to do that. So I think they'll probably go home and try and do that as much as possible.
Rafe, if this is the first heir to the throne who's been born in this age of 24-hour media and Twitter and everything else out there, is there something different about this birth? I mean, are we getting more information than we would have with the birth of William, with the birth of Charles? What's different? How does it change everything?
Well, the crowds that we've seen outside the Lindo Wing of St Mary's far exceed those that were gathered for Prince William, and that is because we live in an age of rolling news, of social media, and so the saturation and the exposure that this episode has had is unparalleled. But I think for that, the royal couple will really be hoping that privacy becomes the theme of the coming weeks and months. We'll have a public photo shoot and official photographs, but really I think they want to ensure that there'll be a bit of a pact with the media that they hope. They'll grant access in return for some privacy over these coming weeks.
Right, because we did see them giving quite a lot in that very short appearance. They stayed and chatted. They weren't shy about answering questions. Now, they did. William did mention that they're still working on a name, and now that's the thing that's taken quite a long time in previous occasions of the birth of an heir to the throne. Just tell us how this compares.
Yes, well, there was over a month to wait before we learnt the name of Prince Charles, around a week or so for Prince William. I think we'll probably have around a week till we'll find out the name, perhaps less than that, but around a week, I think, before the names are officially announced. There's some debate as to whether there'll be 4 or 5 names. I'm going for 4. James and George are high contenders on that. But of course, the future king can choose any of those 4 names, not any name. Some commentators are wrong here by saying that they can choose any name they wish. They choose one of the baptismal names that they're given. So which one of those we'll see.
Hannah, when people look at William and Kate and the difference of their lifestyle compared to any other person, any commoner, if you like, do they see that they've got stuff in common with this very different royal family. Are there great parallels, or do they see themselves as not really being in the same sphere?
I think any mother would say that bringing up a newborn, whatever their background or whatever their future holds, is going to hold up highs and lows. And I don't think it's going to be different in the general goings-on of bringing up a baby. Of course, you know, they'll have security around them, they'll have cameras, but at the end of the day, it is just a baby being brought up by new parents. And so I think that, you know, other new parents out there, other mums who gave birth yesterday rather, will be looking at her and thinking, I know how you feel.
Yes, indeed. And Rafe, I mean, we saw William getting involved. We heard he's already changed a nappy. We saw him putting the car seat in the car very competently. What about the involvement of the royal father? Is there going to be a difference now from his father and his grandfather, and how that's something that really has changed?
Absolutely. The Prince of Wales was a very active father. He was very involved in the upbringing of his children. But I mean, if we think about the Queen's early life, she had governesses and chambermaids and nursemaids and undermaids, a whole retinue. And here only we know no nanny, a housekeeper who may have some nanny duties, a greater involvement of the Middletons, of Carol and Michael being more involved. And I think that you're going to see is the new change to this royal family's new offspring, is the involvement of the parents of the mother and William involving themselves to really try to give that child as normal an upbringing as possible.
Amidst all this abnormality, if you like, all this attention. Rafe, thank you very much, and Hannah, for the moment, thank you very much indeed.